Guilty pleasures. Really, AJ? Really? Really? Okay. You know, my guilty pleasures are relatively G-rated. Okay, one of them is G-rated, the other one is like PG-13 rated. Except for that one time at Anime Detour 2007 when I watched a hentai. Though I wasn't really turned on by it because I I don't like the idea of it being about a rape. That kind of bugged me a little. Okay, bugged me a lot. So I don't consider hentai my guilty pleasure. I don't even consider like I've seen shonen ai, but I've never seen an actual honest to God yaoi, and I've never had the interest to ever see a yuri. My first guilty pleasure, I think, has to do with a certain dubbing company called 4Kids. I grew up in a time period where Pokemon was cool. And I am incredibly nostalgic. Nostalgic when it comes to things I liked as a child or recapturing the innocence that I once had when I was a kid. So I do still sit down and sometimes watch my old tapes of Pokemon. I even had a marathon a couple of years ago of the whole first season because I have the whole first season on VHS, and I sat down and watched the whole thing. I know I really should get a life, but I'm not going to anytime soon. Now, on Saturday, I sat down and I watched the end of Dinosaur King. I have sat down to watch Dinosaur King quite a few times within the last few years since it's been on. And to me, it feels a lot like Pokemon because the voices are the same. Let's just be frank here. It really is just 4Kids getting back to the Japanese company after losing Pokemon rights and Pokemon being recast, since the cast is pretty much exactly the same. Now, like I said before, I'm an incredibly nostalgic person, trying to get back to the innocence that I once had as a child. Matter of fact, Eric Stewart made Brock, James, and Kaiba says it just about as well as I do in his song Lost Innocence. Go check it out. But, you know, 4Kids tends to be my little guilty pleasure because nobody else seems to like the company. But I do. Now, the biggest issue, of course, with 4Kids is the whole One Piece dub. Now, I don't like the One Piece dub, but that's also because I just don't like One Piece. So, I don't know. I just never really got into it. Probably because of my second guilty pleasure. No, Samurai Deeper Kyo is not my guilty pleasure. It's what lies inside of Samurai Deeper Kyo that is my guilty pleasure. That is my guilty pleasure. I am a straight woman, and what straight woman doesn't want a piece of that? It seems that my guilty pleasure doesn't really lie within genres, subgenres, or even storylines. It lies in the characters themselves. I like Samurai Deeper Kyo probably because it's filled with sexy boys. Now, I haven't even read this volume of Samurai Deeper Kyo, but I look at it all the time. Sarah got it for me for Christmas. I look at this all the time because, well, it's just filled with sexy boys, and I like to look at sexy boys. And anywhere you turn in Samurai Deeper Kyo, doesn't matter if they're Kyo or Benitora, who's right there. Yukimura's sexy. That's a sexy picture. It seems like everywhere you turn, there's that one sexy boy or another. There's Shinrei. There's Shinrei. He's pretty sexy. I love how the majority of this channel is actually boys, and I'm sitting here going, "Look, isn't he sexy?" This is for Sarah. And myself. A really sexy picture of Shinrei. Holy crap. Oh, there's one for the guys. I'll give one to the guys. There's Okuni. There's Okuni's breasts. There's Yukimura. There's Yukimura. He's sexy. So those are my guilty pleasures. Like I said, one is very G-rated to the core, and the other a little more PG-13 and really shows that I like the bad boys. Sarah, I'll see you tomorrow.